Hey, I'm Birdman.
Hey, I'm Michael.
Time to get on target at
The Hub. Lakeside.
Lakeside.
Yeah.
People might recognize this if they've watched this show for many, many years.
Right?
Because it used to be back when it was shooting the different direction. But
yeah, we're shooting the range direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a range officer and some people, and so we were just like, you know what, we'll go this way. We'll get some nice background. So last week we talked about the Gibbs rifle and some suppressors and the Maxim family and a bunch of jazz. This week we are going to talk about the Daniel Defense 300 Blackout in front of us, and then some hub talk. Cool stuff going on, some new stuff we've got going on, some brands that have been releasing some cool stuff like that.
Cool.
So, first up, the Daniel Defense SPR. So, why do you want an SPR these days? It's a very hard question to answer, honestly.
Ooh, I got an easy way.
What?
Because then I can put a suppressor on it and it's about the right length.
Well, yeah, so that's the instant, why do you want it? Yes, that. But what I mean more in terms of the legality. So we're gonna drop this mag, and I'm just gonna show everyone that it's clear. I don't want to have any of our internet warriors.
They probably already freaked out at the last
Oh
one.
yeah. But clear rifle. It is not aimed at Rob. If it looks like
There's
it's
nobody
aimed
over
at
there.
Rob,
There's no more customers. We closed the store.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, right now I personally don't feel there's a lot of benefit to the SPR. With current laws, you can buy a pistol AR. Mm-hmm. A pistol AR is essentially the same thing. Yes, I have a full buttstock on this. The brace, when I put it to my shoulder, to be honest, really feels no different, at least to me. Definitely after a sustained amount of shots, and if it's a big recoil rifle, sure. But I mean, if we're talking about an AR-15 that is suppressed, there is really no difference to me as a shooter between an SPR and a pistol. And I think the government looks at that. When you go, well, what should I do? I, as the gun dealer, I just probably tapped and made that mic go off. I, as the gun dealer, say, get the pistol. And if anything changes legally wise with it, SBR it. Because you can Form 1A pistol, and with the E-forms change that we're seeing, they're trying to get them down to what Form 3s are a dealer-to-dealer transfer, a tax-exempt transfer. They're trying to get them into that level where right now if I do a Form 3 to Rob's FFL SOT, it'll only take a week to a month to do it. So they're trying to get normal suppressors down to that area, normal SBRs down to that area when they're on a Form 4. With the pistol, you can make it on a Form 1. So a Form 1 is when you manufacture an item. You manufacture a suppressor, SBR, whatever.
yeah.
You can make your own SBR. So you have the gun. You can shoot the gun legally.
Yep.
And okay, they're changing the laws. They're saying, you know what? I can either have a pistol that's registered as a pistol, or I can have an SBR. I'm going to register it as an SBR. You can then register it as an SBR and enjoy it while you wait. So that's the coolest thing to me is I sell you a pistol. You know what? You decide, I don't like the pistol. I want an SBR. You still use it while you wait. Versus the SBR on a Form 4, this rifle has to stay with us until it's approved. So right now, about a year to 2 months, 8 months to a year and a half, that it's going to sit here and wait for you to come get it. Versus the pistol, you take home right away.
And that's literally how I built my SPR. Was I did it as a pistol.
Yep.
And then I SBR'd it, and then I was able to use it until the point that they were like, oh, now it's an SBR, and I just attached my thing and done.
Yeah, and what do I do to make it an SBR? You slide off your pistol stock, and you slide on the normal stock. It's that easy these days.
It was literally that easy.
When they first started out, a pistol was literally a pistol tube. There was no adjustment in it because the ATF said you can't have any adjustment in the brace. Well, then they found a loophole to that. And then they found a loophole to this. And then they found a loophole to this. And they found a loophole to that. And then a loophole to that. And so now, put the brace to your shoulder. You can have a 6-point of adjustment. It's all legal as long as it came with it from factory.
Right.
Has to come with it from factory because the intent was for a person that what is the point of a brace? Well, for someone like John Hollister from SIG who can't use his hands correctly
Right.
and needs support. You know, this hand doesn't really support his other hand, so he needs the arm to support his hand. That was the point of the brace. So it just got kind of adapted because it's like, oh, well, if it's a brace and I make it from factory, you can take that home as a pistol and not do the SPR.
Ta-da.
So we're always looking at the ATF. Manufacturers are always looking at ways, hey, how can we, and it's the same in any industry.
Well, it's like NASCAR, man. They
Yeah.
always got to find a way around a rule.
Or cars. Cars even.
Yeah,
Cars,
exactly.
how do we get the, you know, like side-by-sides forever, they said, oh, we can't go over 1,000 cc's because then it's no longer a recreational vehicle. Players just released a 2,000 cc motor car. And everyone's like, how'd you do that? And they're just like, we did it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. It's in
Next.
its own class. Next. Next question. So same thing here. They looked at the rules. They looked at what was going on. They said, how can we make this work for us? And they did it. Now, that's where it kind of comes into play, and that's where people go, well, I don't know if I want a pistol because they keep saying they're going to take them away and they're going to do something. Well, buy a pistol, SPR it if they say that they're going to do anything, or they've been talking about it and it's going to be like a $5 stamp like an all other weapon, and you got to register it as a pistol. You know what I mean? So it's stupid, but if you really want it.
There's a pretty funny video out there, and it's the ATF explaining all the differences, and it's kind of funny because they look exactly the same sometimes, and you're like,
Yeah, but by definition, you know, or the way that it is written, you know, like they fall into different things, you know, and so I mean, it sounds weird, but it's kind of cool in one respect because they're looking at stuff and they're trying to figure it out, but then at the same time, it's not cool because it limits us.
Right.
So it's like, you know, if it was like, hey, we're gonna divide these up and make it easier to purchase them, and you know, we're going to create groups of, okay, you know, these are machine guns, these are rifles, these are pistols, these are SBR. Cool, but then they go, okay, well, no, that's an SBR, that's $200. We got to get our money on that one. So that's where it gets, you know, and then the weight and the extreme background check, and you know, some people go, well, I'm giving up my right to, you know, for them to come in my house, and while that is true, think about it. You got to be doing some really shady stuff for the ATF to want to come and talk to you. Like, I mean, you got to be talking to like cartels or some.
yeah, you got to ping the radar pretty good.
Yeah, you got to be doing something that's like, okay, he's on our radar now. And then, do you think that they're gonna just show up at your house? You know what I mean? It's like
You're talking about people with guns.
you know what I mean? Like they're gonna first find out what you do, how you work, how you operate, you know, and they're gonna probably do that by calling you, going, hey, when are you gonna be home? You know, this is the ATF, and we'd like to come out and do an inspection of your SBR and your 2 suppressors that you have. Do you have any issues with us coming out? When's good for you? And if the person's like, never, no, okay, bad sign. You know what I mean? But
That's a warrant, and then they knock down your front door.
yeah, you know what I mean? But it's at the same time, it's like, I've owned suppressors since I was legally allowed to, so 21, and I've never had an ATF call me, agent call me. I kind of laugh when people get into that side of it, and it's like, there are now, I would say, probably 2 or 3 million people that own suppressors, you know, or NFA items in the United States, and it just keeps going and going and going. So as it keeps going, again, it gets harder for them to go, just you. You know what I mean? Because if there's 10 million of us, well, you know, they're going to need 10 million agents to go do 10 million inspections. You know what I mean? And so, and it's not going to happen. And people, I mean, if you look at NFA items, they're usually not used in a crime. You know, it's been many years since an NFA item. Well, actually, I think last year they used some. But
Of course.
before that, years and years and years before NFA items had been used in crimes, and just, you know, basically self-defenses. You know, like I had a suppressed AR, the guy came in my house, I ended it.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, so this rifle, SPR 300 blackout factory SPR. So super cool. Factory guns made from Daniel, sent to us in this configuration. Comes on a Form 3. We then sell it to you on a Form 4. So takes the same amount of time as a suppressor.
Whew.
Yeah. So
And that's just for the SPR, by the way. This has a suppressor on it,
Yep.
but that would make it $400. 2 stamps. Yes.
Yep. So the other thing that's cool about this being an SPR is we can do forward grips, and they do not have to be angled.
Ta-da!
Yep. So everyone's like, how did he put that forward grip on there? That's totally illegal. Well, no, this is an SPR. This is 100% legal.
Yeah.
And that's the other cool benefit of SPRs is you're allowed to do real grips, not the pistol's angled ones. And the angle grip, while it really works, it's very ergonomic and feels great.
It's just not that.
It's just not that. Exactly. Putting my hand against this, it's a stop.
You can't shove the angled one against a door frame.
No.
Yeah.
So super cool. This is running a cap arm suppressor. We sell many different manufacturers for suppressors.
Come back this way a little bit for the suppressor.
There you go. Now you can see it. So we sell many different suppressors, and the cool thing about this guy, quick detach, and super easy to go on and off. Of course, my guys didn't time the brake, so no big deal there. But Cap Arm makes some cool cans. We get in tons of cans. I'll always get in a couple extras to demo or put on the range for your customers to try. It really can make the difference in a sale when you're like, well, I really don't think I need that. And we take you in the range, which is extremely loud, and you go, okay, yeah, I can see the benefit of that. So, but yeah, factory SBR. Daniel has been known for their SBRs, for the Mark 18, for what they do with the military. If you ask most military guys, they're going to say Daniel Defense, Knights Armament, brands like that. I love the way that they did their rail system. Very, very strong, very easy system. 4 screws, rail comes off. They're tanks. Daniels are tanks. Work great, great triggers, great warranty. EOTech for an optic. EOTech's had a little bit of a rough history with, they produced some optics that they had to, I think they got sued or something.
Yeah, I think it got sued by somebody. I can't remember.
Yeah, and they paid out,
They did.
people, but they took care of it.
They made it right.
Yeah, they made it right. Their new stuff, it's freaking awesome. It's still used by the military. I've never personally had issues with EOTechs. Yes, they don't have a perfect circle. They have bleed through and, whatever, but they
Pick
work.
it up, it works. AA batteries.
Exactly. And I mean, the cool thing I like about the EOTechs is I've put them on shotguns, I've put them on rifles, heavy caliber rifles. They eat it. There is no, oh, well, no, it needs to be on this one. So, I mean, I've even had people bring in 22, like specifically EOTech 22 red dots on big caliber rifles, and they work great. So really hold their zero, really good stuff. This is a battle rifle right here. Take away the, maybe the suppressor, go to one of Daniel's suppressors, Silencer Co., Dead Air, some of those. This is a battle rifle made to be used. This size, like Rob said, really opens that door up. When we used to do our leagues, you really wouldn't notice it until I set up a shoot where you'd have to go into a window. And as soon as you had a 16-inch rifle with a suppressor on it, you're back to get out of the window. Getting into it's easy. You run up and you actually, you don't think about it, but you raise the gun enough to get into the window naturally. So you go up, pop, 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 shoot your target, and then you go to move and you go down really quick. And when you go down, you hit the window. And you're like, oh crap. And then you go, okay, I got to lift my rifle up a little bit, back up. Okay, now I can go. So it's like, wow, this thing's long. You know what I mean? This feels like a 16-inch rifle.
Yeah.
So it's just throw it up, shoot, throw it down, move on. So it really changes the game of the way the rifle shoots, feels. And this is going to, in my opinion, pretty much act identical. If this is overall 16 inches with the can, it's going to pretty much act as the same as the 16-inch rifle without the can. Because you need to look at a suppressor as basically a barrel extension. So a lot of manufacturers have gone to that now. You're seeing bolt guns, 6.5 Creedmoors coming in 16 inches, and everyone's like, why? Well, when you put that can on it, it's 24, right into that area you want to be at. So they really think about that, and they're really, like I said, the market is really going quiet. You know what I mean? As the cars goes electric, which I hate. I'm a petrol head. I love turbos. I love diesel. I love noises. It's going quiet. And it's the same thing in the gun industry. Why not make something quieter, less recoil, and better for us, as the shooter? So super cool. But yeah, so that's the Daniel. And to compare it back to the 16-inch rifle, I think we did it perfectly with that window explanation, basically.
Yeah.
Why would you want a shorter barrel? Well, it gives you more options. I can put it into my truck. I can fit it into this backpack. You know what I mean? SIG designed a rifle specifically around the military said, I want to be able to put it in a bag that doesn't look like a rifle bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? We want to be in a situation and rip it out and everyone go, where'd that come from? You know what I mean? So same thing here. Small, effective, 300 blackout uses this barrel length perfectly. It is made for it. 7.5-inch barrel, 300 blackout gets full use of the powder. So 220 grain bullets coming at you. Very wicked stuff. So make sure you check out Daniel Defense. Like I said, this is on the range, so you can come up to Lakeside and rent this. And then I was talking about some hub news. Well, we've got some machine guns coming. So Lakeside has a Valmet, which is what is a Valmet? It's basically an AK. It's a 7.62x39 AK, just a little bit different design. We've got one of those coming up to Lakeside. And then we've got a PPS, which is in 7.62x25, a very weird caliber.
Yeah.
Going down to our Tucson store. So, and then I'm bidding on right now about 15 other guns. So, other machine guns. And so we're working on getting some 1919s, some RPKs, some AKs, some more AR-15s. With our new shop in Phoenix, we were able to get 30 full auto weapons with the store. That's what Aaron was known for, Aaron Merchant. He was a NFA nut, and I love that. I am too. And so HKG36, MP5SD, MP5, I think we have 8 or 9 MP5s, 4 or 5 AKs, I think 10 or 11 AR-15s in different calibers, 22 to 5.7 to 9 to P90s, Chris Vector, Clemente. So I mean, just a bunch of different stuff. So we're trying to get more and more and more. The full autos are really fun to rent, to shoot. They make great, hey, my buddies are in town. What are we going to go do? Come and shoot a full auto. It definitely, most people have never seen a full auto, let alone held one or shot one. They've only seen it in the movies, so it really, it's an awesome deal. Definitely something that you got to make sure you do safely. Our RSO, range safety officer, is always going to go on the range with you and actually stand at your shoulder.
Yeah.
And the reason is he can control you by that. So if the gun starts coming up, he can push your arm down. If it starts coming at him, he can push your arm away. So basically keeps you safe, us safe, everyone in the range safe.
You bet.
So we've got some full autos coming. And then we posted about it today. SIG just released their new rifle. It was basically what they won the military contract with, and it's in that 277. It's basically a MCX with side charge in 277 SIG Fury that'll also take 6.8 and one other so 3 different calibers, quick change.
Wow.
Comes with a can. Now, price is definitely up there.
Here we go.
They're saying it's going to be right around $8,000 retail.
That's actually better than I thought.
We
With
only
the
got
can.
with the can,
Yeah.
but we only got one. And that's with me purchasing another SIG Elite. So Merchant was a SIG Elite. So they don't look at us as 2 SIG Elites. They look at us as 1 SIG Elite now. We are the hub SIG Elite in Tucson and Phoenix, and master dealer in Lakeside. Well, all Elites, that's the only one that we're able to, SIG only shipped these guns to Elite dealers.
Wow.
And only 1 per Elite.
Awesome.
So in Arizona, there's going to be 2 of them. There's only 2 Elites in Arizona. Most states, it's going to be like 1 to 2 rifles. So I'll be honest, I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it.
Bidding starts at $8,000.
You know what I mean?
Commerce is commerce, guys. Deal with it.
Well, exactly. It's so like I just got back a Wick Staccato. We sold over 10 of them when they were out, and I didn't think about it. I didn't go, oh, you know what? We need to keep one of these because they're not going to make them again. And so the gun you can get 12 grand for right now, like straight up.
Yeah.
Pistol sold for 3 to 5 grand area, like from us. They're going for 12 grand right now. And so it's just, it's an investment. I mean, straight up, some of these hard to get guns are investments. And, it's like, okay, well.
I mean, you invested the money in being a SIG Elite, which
right.
is an investment.
Right.
You put money into it so you guys can get the availability of a lot of other guns. Mm-hmm. So when these things come available, it doesn't mean that everybody just, no.
Yeah, and so I'm actually looking forward to see which dealers go, you know what, we don't care. We don't want this. It doesn't matter. 8 grand, or you know what, 15 grand.
Right.
You're paying a premium because guess what? There's only 50 of them, or I think there's 100 elite. Yeah, there's 100 elites in the country. So there's 100 of us. There's 100 of them. How bad do you want this? Yeah. And it's one of the first. It is the military gun. 100%. They went, oh well, we have I think they went, oh, we have like 200 extra. Let's get it to our elite dealers.
We'll go to the elite dealers, yeah.
So we've got that coming. Again, don't take me for my word. There's a chance I put it up for sale, but my goal with the gun is actually to take it to the different hubs, and I want to shoot it. I want people to be able to shoot SIG 277 Fury and know, okay, do I like this? Do I think this is going to be the next? Because, I mean, these cartridges are hitting insane pressures.
Nice.
Normally you can't go over, it's like 60,000 PSI of pressure. It goes over SAMI spec. These are like, I think they said like 80 to 100,000. So they're almost like, and the reason they're doing it is, the way they're doing it is they're using, I want to say it was a steel rim, and then they're putting the brass casing onto it. So they're basically the back of the shell is supported by a stronger metal, and then the brass, it has lips, and they put it onto it, and that makes the casing. So way more pressures. I probably said some of that wrong, but I haven't looked at it in a year and a half. But super cool. I mean, crazy high pressures, and we should have that rifle SPR end of the month.
Cool.
Yeah. So they said that they're submitting paperwork like today, tomorrow, and then as soon as they get it back.
So it's the price of the gun plus $400, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like $8,400.
And weight.
Yeah. It was like, he told me the price for the dealer, and I'm like, what? Like, really? And he's just like, yeah, how many you want? I'm like, well, like,
all of them.
Yeah, how many can I get? And he's just like, one.
Oh. Well, then why did you ask me how many I want?
Yeah, he's just like, well, I wanted to gauge,
Yeah.
And so, but super cool. So it'll be a lot like this rifle. And you can see that's what the military wants. They want something small, compact, a ton of power, and quiet with no blowback.
Yeah, no blowback.
Yeah, because the ammonia is really, it hurts. It doesn't hurt you physically, but it gets to a point where it's hard to see and it's hard to smell. And you think about someone sending some serious lead down range, there's a chance that they may not hit their target. They may just waste all that ammo, and then be sitting there afterwards going, like have to wash their face, Right. So to me, to get rid of that, very smart thinking. So I'm Michael.
I'm Rob.
We'll see you next time.